Hi, thanks for watching BibleMountain.com. In this video we're going to read from Exodus 24 and learn that God does not give instant gratification. In our society we have been conditioned to expect instant gratification. Microwaves train us to expect food and drink on demand, the internet trains us to expect information and services on demand, and Amazon is training us to expect consumer products on demand. In this video we're going to read from Exodus 24 and learn that Yahweh summoned Moses to the top of the mountain, but then Yahweh made Moses wait for 6 days before God even spoke to him. This teaches us that God did not do instant gratification with Moses, and since God doesn't change, that means that we should not expect instant gratification from God either. So let's start reading in Exodus 24. The context of this is God has the Israelites at Mount Sinai. He is giving them the Mosaic Law. Now let's start reading at verse 12. Now Yahweh said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and remain there, and I will give you the stone tablets with the law and the commandment which I have written for their instruction." So Moses arose with Joshua his servant, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. But to the elders he said, "Wait here for us until we return to you, and behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a legal matter, let him approach them." Notice the word wait. Moses went up on the mountain and he told everyone else to wait there at the bottom of the mountain until he returned. Verse 15. Then Moses went up to the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of Yahweh rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days, and on the 7th day Yahweh called to Moses from the midst of the cloud. Notice the word seventh. So Moses went up on the mountain, but then he was there for 6 days, and it wasn't until the 7th day that Yahweh actually spoke to Moses. So this demonstrates to us the need to have patience with God. Moses very easily could have gone up on the mountain and after a day or two just decided, well, God wasn't going to speak to him, and I'm just going to go back down the mountain. But Moses was patient, and he had to be, because God doesn't do things instantly. We need to wait on him. Verse 17. And to the eyes of the sons of Israel, the appearance of the glory of Yahweh was like a consuming fire on the mountaintop. Moses entered the midst of the cloud as he went up to the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Notice that phrase there at the end, Moses was up there for 40 days and 40 nights. And again, that took a lot of patience for Moses compared to us. Would we wait 6 days for God to do something? Would we stay up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights listening to God? Probably not. We tend to be a lot less patient than that. But Moses was patient, and he understood that God works on his timetable and not ours. Let's also look at 2 Peter 3 verse 8, and this continues that idea of waiting for God. "But do not let this one fact escape your notice, beloved, that with the Lord 1 day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like 1 day. The Lord is not slow about his promise, as some count slowness, but is patient toward you, not wishing for any to perish, but for all to come to repentance." And so in God's eyes, 6 days is nothing. In God's eyes, 6 days is like a blink of the eye. Likewise with the 40 days that Moses was on the mountaintop. In God's eyes, that's simply a blink of the eye. And we have to learn to look at time like that also, that God looks at time very differently than we do, and what we think is a really long time really is nothing compared to God, because in God's eyes, 1,000 years are like a day. Also, let's look at Galatians 5, verse 22. "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness." So the fourth fruit of the Spirit listed here is patient. We need to be patient, much more patient than we humans naturally want to be. We also see that in James 5, verse 7. "Therefore be patient, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. The farmer waits for the precious produce of the soil, being patient about it until it gets the early and late rains. You too be patient, strengthen your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is near." So twice there we are commanded to be patient and wait for the Lord. And again, his view of time is different than ours. He's not going to do things as quickly as we want him to or often expect him to. In our society, we've been conditioned to expect instant gratification. Microwaves teach us to expect food and drink on demand. The internet teaches us to expect information and services on demand. Amazon teaches us to expect consumer products on demand. But in Exodus 24, we see that Yahweh summoned Moses to the top of the mountain, and he made Moses wait for 6 days. And that teaches us that God's view of time is different. God does not do things as quickly or as immediately as we would like him to. Since God did not do instant gratification with Moses, and since God doesn't change, that means that we should not expect instant gratification from God either. If you haven't already joined my email list, please do so. First of all, it is free. By signing up, you'll get immediate access to all my free content. It'll be delivered right to your email inbox. This is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of my free content. In order to sign up, go to BibleMountain.com, click on follow, and there will be a place there to enter your email address. Once again, thank you for watching BibleMountain.com.